Hello and Assalamu alaikum. I am Jabbar Khan from Baghdad, Kashmir, Pakistan, and you are watching me live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Today we have a very honorable and respectable guest with us, Danelle from Indiana, USA. And the topic of our today's session is how can we understand ourselves better with the help of spirituality and law of attraction. So first of all, I would like to ask you, ma'am, that can you please introduce yourself for my audience? Then we will start the session with formal questions.
Yes, absolutely. It's a pleasure to be here today. Thank you very much for having me on. I'm Danelle Boyles in the United States. And just to kind of give you a little bit of information about me, I wear many different professional hats. I'm a mom of two first, and one older son and one in high school. And I'm a special education training coach. It's for special needs children in high school who are looking to move into like career paths. Um, when they're in special ed all through high school, they go through like job training. And so I'm the one that handles that. I'm a sound healing practitioner, writer, humanitarian, and I'm sure we'll talk about all those all those things as we move along. But I'm a doer of many things.
That's really great. You have a very diverse type of interests and professions. So
Mhm.
I would like to start this discussion with the simple question that what is spirituality or what is spirituality means to you? And
Mhm.
how it has helped you to understand yourself better, or you how it has increased your productivity or your professionalism in your life.
Oh, well, spirituality is a very broad spectrum of, I would have to say it's a belief system similar to religion. For me, it is encompassing you in your true form and being able to embody a consciousness that is open to many different things that allows the consciousness to expand. And that means to be able to be open to different pathways that introduce you to new things consciously and emotionally, being able to connect with yourself in different levels of, I don't know. We just had this conversation on my own Facebook profile the other day, and it was such a vast array of conversation. It's very hard to pinpoint spirituality because it encompasses everything that you are. And that includes everything that you have been, like even in past lives, um, and all different levels of consciousness. It's basically just, it's what you are. But it impacts everything that I do because as someone who is very diverse in the different interests that I do and areas that I work in, it's kind of like being divinely guided. And whether you are religious or spiritual or metaphysical, it encompasses everything you do. And that includes the work that you do, your hobbies, people that you meet, and different pathways that your careers take you on, even things like travel. When you travel and you meet people out abroad, even you and me having an encounter today is considered probably a spiritual encounter, because then through our contact we're going to then contact many other people. So it's an I am, basically. I am. It encompasses everything that I am.
That's really great. Actually, there is a question whether it is science or it is religion or it is something in between science and religion.
Mhm.
And you have talked a little bit about that. But I would like a simple question for a person who has no basic knowledge about spirituality. From
Mhm.
where he has to start? He has to start by understanding whether it is philosophy or science or religion, or he should start with some practices like gratitude, mindfulness, and things like that.
I feel like whenever you start to move into more of a spiritual nature, you turn more into yourself rather than looking for external sources of validation. And that encompasses developing habits of self awareness and being able to start to recognize like where you need to be and what you need to be doing in order to improve yourself to then reflect on people around you. And that it pretty much boils down to that, like, bottom line for me.
I will repeat my question. Simple
Mhm.
practices like gratitude and mindfulness and meditation.
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
a new person who is not familiar to spirituality, should he
Mhm.
start these practices, or
Um,
first you have to study about meditation or thing like that?
Before you move into those kinds of practices, for me, I don't think it's necessary. Those practices are not necessary to become a spiritually mindful person. Meditation, mantra practices and things like that, they're great for bringing you into mindfulness, but it's not necessary. They're wonderful for being able to relax and tune in. Some people need them in order to tune into their mind's eye and to their inner voice. It helps bring a person into balance. But meditation, is many things that you can do. Anything that is a focus, and that's reading can be a meditation, music, art, something like even cooking or washing dishes. Anything that makes you be still and be just with yourself is a meditation. So those kinds of practices are good. Like, I'm a sound healing practitioner, and a lot of people like to use the singing bowls and the instruments that I use from meditation to help them, like, just be still and to relax and focus on themselves. But yeah, you can utilize any of those kinds of things for focusing and grounding into a relaxed state to be able to open the mind more.
That's great. Can you please tell us, with your experience with spirituality, that is it really helpful in real life situations like problem solving, some decision making skills, some other life skills? Is it really helpful?
I believe it is when it comes to spirituality. Like I said before, it's a very broad spectrum, different variations of different levels of how spiritual a person is. But it does, because whenever you become more spiritually inclined, it tunes you into the kind of person that you need to be in order to handle different situations in life. How you handle people on a daily basis, how you handle problem solving, being able to regulate yourself and increasing your emotional intelligence, which is how you handle all life situations, even things like handling stress of not, being late on your daily routine, or how to handle your children when they're in unruly situations, or how you handle situations at work if there's an emergency. So the more tuned in you become with yourself and your spirituality, or uh, a lot of people have a hard time exchanging the terms religion and spirituality. For some it's the same, for some it's completely different. um, but it impacts everything that you do in your life, because it changes you as a person the more tuned in you become.
That's great, and it's really helpful to understand this.
Mhm.
So let's discuss a little bit about law of attraction. They say that you become what you think about most of the time. In the other words, they say that your thoughts become your reality. How
Yes.
can you see this, and can you please explain this a little
Mm.
bit for us?
Um, the law of attraction, I feel like I do follow law of attraction. And I do follow the you are what you think. These are all things I actually just had conversations about just a little bit ago. Is that the way we work in the quantum? is in thought process. And whenever you are utilizing, you can say manifestation tools, but whenever you are working in that manner towards doing that, you're utilizing the process in order to anchor yourself into it. I'm sorry. Is there a second part to the question that you want me to answer?
It's about law of attraction, and I would like to make it simple that in law of attraction, they say that your thoughts become your reality. And
Yeah.
if we see this with this perspective, if you have some written goals and you do some affirmations again
Mhm.
and again about those goals, is it really work or is it worked in your life somewhere?
It's not necessary to do it like in a repetitive manner, because the way the law of attraction works is, once you anchor your thought process into a quantum factor, which there's different layers of you that operate in the quantum consciously. And so, let's say you have this layer down here that is just getting a goal in mind, and you want to reach, up here to this version of yourself. You're talking from this version of you to this version of you, relating back and forth. And it's without getting into a big long like conversation about it, but once you project that idealization and you emit that frequency of where you want to be, then you basically are communicating with that version of yourself, and then you just kind of gravitate into it. So it's just a matter of placing that thought process out there, that that's what you're wanting to call into yourself, and then it's then moving through the process of reaching that goal. But yeah,
That's
if you really wanted to
uh,
get like deep into it, like collectively, like as like universally, globally, that's why whenever we say that one person leads to changing the frequency for 10, and then 10 for 100, and then 100 for 1,000, because as every person's consciousness moves into the law of attraction, it can change the perception of reality, because the more people that believe in peace, or the more people believe in, having a clean universe, the more people that believe in having, everyone is living in peace and prosperity, then the more we consciously shift into the direction of that. Does that make sense?
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Uh, it's okay. I think I have asked some textual questions. Now let's come about your experience or what you have learned from your life and your interests. As you said that you are also doing sound therapy or healing through music or things like that. Please tell us something more about this, how it works, how music and sounds can heal us, and how can we take help from these type of things in the time of stress or anxiety.
Sure, sure. So through my practice, I utilize sound healing, which is different vibrational frequencies that when they come in contact with the body, it helps release like lower vibrational energies. Because whenever we go through different traumas and hardships and things in our life, and we don't process those emotions out, they become trapped within the body. And so, literally within the fibers of our being, they become trapped in our muscle tissue, and just become like a memory there. And in order to work it out, a person has to be able to move themselves into the conscious space of working through that and bring it to the surface, or you can utilize vibration therapy. And what that does is when the body comes in contact with the different sounds and tones, it then kind of dislodges it. And as I do energy work, and so as the emotions are released, then they're transmuted as a kind of an empathic process. But our bodies are all energy. Like everything we do, everything we we carry out is connected to universal energy. And so the energy from the tones itself allows the body to release. And then whenever you release that, it heals, because different variations of trapped trauma causes physical illness, even pains and ailments and sickness. And whenever you're able to utilize those kinds of practices, it helps ease those, so then you can heal from it.
Interesting.
Mhm.
As you have told in your introduction, yeah, that you do also work with with the students with special needs.
Mhm.
As I am also a teacher, can you please tell us a little bit more about that? I usually face some problems to understand the real feelings or real mental state of the children most of the time, and that creates a problem in communication. How do you handle that, or how do you explore the real mental state of a kid at a specific time?
Um, I find that the behaviors of children go hand in hand with a lot of the same things that adults experience. Um, one of my, I think probably one of my biggest turning points. I've been in education for 20 years. I've worked with special education children for 17 of that. And all children are special in the way that they need to be handled, but special needs children especially require a little extra, attention, effort, redirection, taught how to self-regulate and socialize. But one thing that's not recognized enough is that universally we're all affected by the processes of how the universe moves and operates metaphysically, scientifically. It all goes hand in hand, and it all affects us and how we operate and feel. And so when I see the children that are moving through a lot of these behaviors and learn to regulate them and help them, because they're these little individuals. And one of the biggest problems that I have seen in education is that children are not given enough credit for being their own individual. We expect them to behave a certain way. We expect them to always be on time, to always act properly, to always, follow like clockwork. And that's not the case. The thing I have learned the most is you have to be able to understand how they operate and how they need to be handled, and give their problems the attention that it needs to help them move through whatever they're going through emotionally that's causing them to have additional stress on their person. And whether it's physical or mental health issues or communication issues. There's always a cause and effect, in those kinds of things. And so that's my biggest thing, is establishing that they're little operating beings that need attention and understanding of how they operate.
Great. Now, please tell me a little more about yourself, about your state's name is Indiana, I think.
Hmm.
Tell
Yeah, I'm
me
in
about
Indiana.
something about the culture of your state, your daily routines, your foods, your weekends. I want to know that.
Oh
How
gosh,
people do that.
my hometown is pretty large for the size of our state. The town that we're in is a pretty good size. So it's not. I don't live in like a little hometown. It's a bigger city, and we have a pretty large school system here. A pretty large, um, economy. The economy here is moderately comfortable. Um, we have a blossoming art community that I'm involved with a lot. And overall, it's not, where we are is a pretty decent place to live. We're we're very close to, um, larger cities that have, more to offer if we want to go someplace to travel. And as far as like my daily, intake, I work a lot. I overwhelm people sometimes with when they hear and see how much I do, but my life purpose is to help elevate the collective. Being and doing what I do is helping to shape the future realities, to have a more, you know, peaceful, calm, productive time in life. And so I work a lot, and I spend time with my family. And so I make some time for fun. I paint and I write, and I enjoy cooking.
That's great. And I saw on your wall that you have some also interest in on international. You have some projects. You are doing something in Bangladesh and some other countries. What type of things are that? Can you please share?
Sure. I am involved in multiple nonprofit organizations. One is Glory Future Foundation that's in Bangladesh, and I'm kind of like I'm an advisor and like an ambassador for them. I do a lot of speaking for them to help spread awareness, and it supports education. And I work with the youth there a lot. About 2 years ago, I started teaching with the program. And so it started with teaching art, and it has since turned into kind of a global initiative. And we work with two other countries right now. Soviet Georgia is one of the areas that I work with. And every Saturday, I teach an international spoken word class for around an hour that all students from anywhere in the world can join us as long as they have access to the internet. And um, that's one of them. And the United Humanitarians Organization, which is based out of Pakistan, is where it's founded. And it's a global organization that supports all different humanitarian rights and just awareness. A big supporter of the SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. And I do a lot of conferences with them. I'm one of the United States directors with the UHO, and so that involves just a lot of conferencing and meeting of other global leaders that are making global change. Just doing a lot of humanitarian work.
That's great. Now, can you please tell us something about your literary taste? What type of books do you like, and what type of movies do you watch? Can you share some
Oh,
of those with us?
I love books. I've owned a lot of books in my time. Um, I don't get the opportunity to read as much as I used to because I'm so busy. And whenever I do have free time, it's almost always utilized to paint or write. Um, and the same for TV. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I do enjoy a few shows I watch with my 16-year-old. I usually let him choose because it's kind of like our quality time together. But we do watch a lot of like science fiction and things that have to do with time travel and interdimensional relations and stuff like that.
Thank you. So, can you please tell us about your goals, or what type of world do you want to see, or what type of world do you want to wish in the future? Uh, can you share some of your dreams about the world?
Yeah. I have a lot of dreams and aspirations for the world. And I feel like my biggest one is just to have everyone where they would like to be, where they want to see themselves. My my goals are more about other people than they are about me. Inspiring, igniting, educating, anything that will help raise like the collective consciousness to be able to move into a more like self-regulated environment that decreases, things like war and pollution and things that contribute to the corruption of our planet and our society, and moving, collectively into a change that inspires creativity and loving and being an individual and being able to express yourself individually and having the freedoms that should be normalized. um you know just freedoms that should be normalized, I think, is the biggest thing. Being able to be supported, financially, creatively, and individually.
Great. One of my friend from Australia is asking that amazing work, which platform you are using for the class and how normal students can join.
um the classroom, I believe, can hold up to 300 students. We generally use, I think it's Google. We used to use StreamYard. But they can message me and I can put them in touch. I can add them to the group that we have running for individuals that want to join. And it's every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And the material that I teach ranges anywhere from character development to social skills, reading. We work mostly on English skills, but it always incorporates, like today I did a poetry assignment with them and I was teaching them about the different parts of poetry and how to build a poem, and then I read them some poetry that I did for a refugee poetry summit that I had done this morning. And yeah, just have them reach out to me. Mhm.
Okay, your profile name is mentioned in my post, and I will share the link to my friend, and he
Mhm.
will connect you or some other
Sure,
person if they want to connect.
absolutely.
They can easily connect with you. So we are going to wind this up, this session at the last. If you would like to give some message to the youth, because most of my audience is young people of Pakistan and
Mhm.
Kashmir. If you would like to give some message to them, we will be very happy and obliged.
Hmm. My message always is don't ever give up on yourself. Always see your future self, find where you want to be, and then anchor yourself there, and don't ever lose faith in being able to move yourself into that space that you want to be in. Learn to trust yourself and love yourself. Most importantly, you can do absolutely anything that you want to do.
That's great, and that's really inspiring and motivational. So, at the end, I would like to really thankful and grateful for you to make this session possible and give us the time and
Absolutely.
so insightful your feedback. Thanks a lot, and have a good time.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity with much gratitude. Take
Thank you.
care.
Take care, and thank you.
Thank you.